There are so many things to love about this device because there's just so much it does right. But there is one glaring issue that makes this and almost every other OnePlus device a terrible purchase decision, and we're gonna get right into that with this 3-month later review. Today I'm going over all the things I love about this device 3 months later, but also things that absolutely suck. I'm just going to be talking from my experience, so no tech talk or specs, any of that today. We're just going over experiences, things I really liked, and things that really let me down. Now, if you're into this kind of stuff, make sure to smash that subscribe button because it really helps grow a small channel like mine, and I really appreciate it. And if you dislike it, go ahead and smash the dislike and let me know in the comment section below how I can improve. Let's start off with the build quality of this device, and it is absolutely fantastic, okay? And I gotta draw the attention to the back cover. This is like this matte glass which sparkles, and it makes one of the most beautiful sparkles I have seen on any device. Last year also had a glass back, but this was a glossy glass. This matte, like crystallysis glass, I don't know, it's just absolutely gorgeous. Over the past 3 months, I haven't seen any significant wear or tear on this device. It's still as good as day one. And granted, it has been in the Spigen liquid armor case for the entire time, so I have kept this pretty safe. I will say, however, one thing that I notice on the daily, and that's because I've used like all kinds of devices, are these buttons. They're actually not the easiest ones to press, and without the case on, these sharp edges do actually dig into your finger, which makes pressing buttons like volume up and volume down kind of annoying. If you do have a case on it, it's not really gonna dig into your finger, but it is gonna take that little bit of extra effort to push the buttons, and even 3 months later, I still haven't gotten used to exactly how much more power it takes to kind of raise the volume up. It's not a deal breaker, but it is something you notice, especially if you use a lot of other devices as well. The display is of course curved, and if you watch any of my other videos, you know I'm not a fan of curved displays for a number of reasons. That being said, even though this has a curved display, it's not as bad as the S22 Ultra because this form factor is really easy to hold. Like, I can grip this easily in one finger, and the other thing is, I don't know, this is a little bit weird, but the top is flat. This is the first time I've seen a phone where it has a flat top and kind of a flat bottom as well. Now the bottom isn't all that flat, but just holding it in one hand, even though it is a curved display, it's really easy to kind of just stabilize and grip, so it won't fall off on your day-to-day, even if you don't have a case on. One thing I did notice is that with this flat top, if I rest my pinky like this, I get a lot more control over the phone. I don't know, it's just something weird I kind of picked up. But yeah, if I have my pinky on the flat edge, I get a lot more control. On the rounded edge, it's a little bit more slippery. Just something I noticed. So as you can see, last year version, we have Shanghai here. Not a big CCP guy, but it's a cool city. It's a flat display. Last year they came out with the flat display on the 9 5G. This year we have a curved display. And although I just said I don't really enjoy curved displays all that much, if I was going to get a curved device, it would be this one right here. I think they have the best integration of the curved display on any other device I've tested, better than the S22 Ultra for sure. And part of that is because it is longer and narrower. I just feel it's longer and narrow. What this longer and narrower design leads to is easy media consumption. I'm talking articles, emails, online, web, newspapers, whatever it might be. Reading things on this is a lot of fun. You get quite a bit of space when it comes to horizontal, but on the vertical, you're also getting a ton of space and a lot of space to scroll. So you can fit a lot into a little. Media is also an absolute pleasure. Watching things like anime or any show like that is absolutely a ton of fun on this screen. The colors are vivid, gorgeous, beautiful. It contrasts extremely well. It's just nice. Now, on the S22 Ultra, I also talked about how nice that display was and how watching things was a ton of fun, but the speakers on the S22 Ultra made the entire experience kind of trashy because the speakers were garbage. On this device, I'm happy to say the speakers sound very good. I have no complaints about the speakers here. Over the past 3 months though, there was a time where I put this on the bathroom sink and water did get on the device and into the speakers. And for the rest of that evening, I was getting like a ton of like this weird electrical robot noises from the speaker grill. Luckily, by the end of the day, the next morning, that was kind of completely over and the phone was back to normal. I just think that like water got into these speaker grills on the bottom, and all it kind of required was having that dried out before this phone would continue normal operation. Just something to know in case you get water down there. Give it time to dry. Now, the one thing that does kind of hold back on the perfect media experience is these curved edges. For example, some media consumption, you might have it like this. Some you're watching stuff like this, but sometimes you're in bed and so you have this above you. Because the display is curved, I've had this with every single curved display. If you're using a curved display in bed, it will smash you. It just happens, okay? It's going to slip, you're gonna kind of doze off, it's gonna slip, it's gonna smash you, and you're kind of in this coma now while you're in bed and your media is playing. It's not a pleasant experience, and so that's just one kind of gripe I have, that when you're watching anything in bed, it does get kind of annoying and these edges do start digging into your fingers. Now, of course, if you have a case on, that's a different story, but without the case, yeah. Okay, so that's the build quality and the media consumption over the past 3 months, and overall, not a lot has changed. Gaming, on the other hand, just a tad bit different. Usually I play Genshin Impact on my devices, that's the most demanding mobile game, but this time I decided to try out Need for Speed No Limits, and that's what I've been kind of wearing my thumbs out on this device ever since I got it. What I will say is that back when I first got this device and started playing this game, what surprised me the most was that it wouldn't heat up. Now, obviously it heat up in like 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, but for like the whole hour I was playing Need for Speed, I had YouTube on in the background. I had Chrome with 4 tablets running on the background as well. This thing just would not heat up. Now relax, calm your tits. It does heat up just a little bit. There's that, you know, that regular warming up. I mean, every phone does that. But when I say heat up, I'm talking like where it actually starts getting warmer and you start feeling it kind of in your fingers and it kind of gets a little uncomfortable. That didn't happen at all, no matter how much I pushed it. Unfortunately, 3 months later, that is no longer the case. I do have a bit of a conspiracy with this. A little bit of a conspiracy I'll get into. Overall, 3 months later, it does warm up quite a bit now. Again, not alarmingly much, but you do notice it, especially when you're in longer sessions of gaming or any kind of high performance activity. You're gonna notice it heating up a lot more than it used to in the first month. Now, for the conspiracy. This thing came with a 65-watt super fast charger in the box. That's one of the reasons I still adore this brand. Both of these, by the way, came with a charger in the box. I haven't charged exactly how fast it goes from 0 to 100, but I will say that if you're at 18%, you plug it into the fast charger, you go up and make a number 2 in the bathroom, you come back and this will be at like 95%. It is wicked fast at charging. And of course that can't really be a good thing. And that's also where I first noticed this phone get extremely hot, was when I had it on charge. Now, I don't know the Pythagorean theorem or explain how like the charge, maybe the battery heating up is damaging other components and that's kind of making it heating up and more. I don't know, okay? But the fact remains that it does heat up quite a bit more than it did month number 1. But is it heating up enough to where it's alarming? No. And is this heat hindering performance? Absolutely not. So performance still remains the same way it was day 1. It's just getting a little bit warmer than I remember it. And on the topic of battery, it is really, really good. I'm talking, it can get me throughout an entire day with absolutely no problem. Some people say that it can get them through a day and a half. I haven't really had that experience, but that's because over the past few months, I have been using it pretty heavily. My Oneplus 9 5G, this thing could easily get me through like 2, 3, 4 days, but that's because I usually use this one as a backup phone. This was not my main driver, and so the standby times on both of these are phenomenal. But as far as having an inactive user, this thing does get you through the entire day with no problem. Generally, when I'm driving, I have Google Maps running, I have YouTube running, and I have all of these like other apps that are just on, I'm not on my phone, but I have it on because I need to look at the map and everything, and it'll be plugged into like somewhere on my dashboard. And so it's constantly on, running. I don't have YouTube Music subscription, so YouTube is running as well. And so that does make the phone heat up a little bit more than usual, but also it does kill the battery a lot faster because data is also on. And finally, let's go over the camera of these devices. Well, this device, not really the OnePlus 9 5G. It is really, really, really good. Take a look at the photos, comparing the OnePlus 10 photo to the OnePlus 9 5G, and I also compared it to the S22 Plus. You're gonna see a pretty major upgrade over the OnePlus 9 5G on this new device. Also, the video capabilities are fantastic, really surprising. You're getting 4K at 120p. Okay, like that's 4K at 120p, 60p, and of course 30p as well. You can also bump it up to 8K at 60p, I believe. At 8K, you do lose stabilization. At 4K, if you do enable stabilization, you only have it for 5 minutes. But if you don't need that, and I've noticed that it already does a pretty good job without stabilization, you get a whole 30 minutes of just straight on video, which is awesome. Overall, I'm just really impressed with the camera quality. I like with the OnePlus 9 5G, if I had this on me and I had to take a picture of something, I would kind of cringe a little bit because I knew the pictures wouldn't come out as crisp. But with this phone, I just enjoy it. I enjoy taking out, given the opportunity to take a photo is always a nice experience. The one thing that does cause a lot of people a lot of pain is this camera bump, which just keep getting weirder and weirder. And guys, I'm gonna be honest, I don't mind I really don't mind, dude. I'm fine with that. But the other thing is that I'm here for it. Phones used to be these like boring slaps for the longest time. And then in my theory, okay, Samsung changed it. Okay, Samsung came out with the Flip, changed the game, got all these manufacturers thinking about how they could change up their devices. Google came out with the Pixel with that like horizontal bar. All of these other devices are going crazy. The Nothing Phone 1, which I'm going to talk about soon, also like new crazy design. Like they still are slabs, but they're really pushing that design front, and I really am enjoying that. So this rattle from this camera doesn't annoy me at all. Now, I've buttered up this phone quite a bit, but there is still a major problem that remains, the major problem. But I'm gonna go over the smaller problem first, then I'll get into the big one. One of the smaller problems I have with this device is the OS. How do I put it? It's like there's a lot of buffoonery going on, okay? OnePlus used to be that phone manufacturer that had very stock Android experience, which was nice. But now, there's like OnePlus shelves, there's like these OnePlus widgets that are running around, there's Red Wire Club, there's all this garbage, okay, goonery, basically, that you don't really need. And nobody really enjoys. It's kind of like Bixby used to be on Samsung. I know people are like now praising Bixby, it's a whole thing. I'm still not praising Bixby, I'm not a fan. But that's kind of what it feels like on this. But like instead of just one Bixby, imagine 3 Bixbys that you all gotta like disable, and it just gets annoying. Another thing is that I'm a primary Samsung user, and one of the things that I love on Samsung is that side taskbar that would come out to do certain tasks. You kind of lose that stuff on here. Another thing I really enjoyed on Samsung was being able to take screenshots of anything, and right when I take the screenshot, I can edit it. I can add in exactly why I took that screenshot, because I take a lot for business, and so if I take a screenshot of an ad, I can add in, oh yeah, this is why I'm taking a screenshot of this specific ad. On this phone, again, when you take a screenshot, you can't do that. You have to go to gallery, then you have to click edit, then you gotta go through the editing menu to find those specific functionalities. Overall, it feels like on the productivity front, the OnePlus OS is a little bit laggy, or at least lagging behind Samsung. I haven't tried productivity on the Google Pixel as much, so I don't know about them. But yeah, I gotta be honest that the OnePlus productivity front isn't as up to date as the Samsung OS is. But that's not a deal breaker, okay? Don't get me wrong. That's fine. That's okay. Some people aren't as crazy productivity monkeys like I am, so they'll be perfectly fine. The big deal breaker here is the price. Now, on the table here, you see I have the OnePlus 9 5G, and this is why I bought this phone up for this review, is because when I bought this phone, It was $800. This was last July, almost exactly a year ago. I bought this phone and it was $800, $799. Today you can buy this phone for $299, ladies and gentlemen. I can trade this phone in right now for $185. I've lost like $600 over the course of 1 year from this device. And it literally doesn't make sense for me to sell this for $185, no matter what the reason. This phone is still a good phone. It's still really fast. The photo, again, the camera isn't the best, but it's still really fast. It's large, it's crisp, everything works great, but it just lost tons of value. Samsung has an amazing trade-in program, and that's something I'm gonna do with my S22 Plus, is when the trade-in for the Z Flip 4 rolls around, I'm gonna be sending them my S22 Plus, and I'm pretty confident I'm gonna get a really good value on my S22 Plus. Apple devices don't generally depreciate as much, they keep their value. But OnePlus, it's just unfortunate, and I wish someone had told me before I picked up the OnePlus 9 5G, because I'm kind of stuck with this device now. I paid $800 for it. I could trade it in for $185, but that makes absolutely no sense because it's still a very good phone. And I feel like the OnePlus 10 is going to have the same fate. Right now, this is $1,000. You might pay $1,000 right now, and then next year, by 1 year later, this might be down to like $400 in value. You lost a ton of money. Even if you trade this in, you know, it's not really gonna get you anywhere good, at least in 1 year. 2 years later, I don't know, you might get something a little bit better. My point is that if you are thinking about buying a phone and you're gonna keep it for a very long time, you're keeping it for the long run, you don't wanna change it, okay, all right, this might make sense for you because that depreciation isn't really going to impact your usage. But if you are someone that changes every single year, or someone like me that needs to change every year because, hey, I'm a reviewer, I want to stay on top of the latest tech, then this is going to hurt the budget because this will depreciate quite a lot. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about these two devices. I mean, again, phenomenal device, great build quality, okay OS, gaming, the heating, no complaints on that front. It's just this price. I'm gonna keep my eyes on it. I'm gonna continue to monitor exactly where this price goes. But again, I paid $1,000 for this. I paid $800 for this, and I lost a ton of money on this. Let's see what happens with the OnePlus 10 Pro 5G. But honestly, I can't get over the beautiful color. Let's take a color comparison real quick. Real quick color comparison here. So this is the green emerald color from OnePlus 10. Now I have the iPhone 13 Pro Max on the way as well in alpine green. So I'll be able to put that up here and I'll take a picture when I show you when I get that phone. But yeah, we're seeing a whole revolution with greens. I love it. I'm not a green fan, but I mean, I just love the way these look, how elegant their designs are. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Anyways, be sure to smash the subscribe button. It really helps grow a small channel like mine, and I appreciate every single one of you. Until next time, take it easy. Peace.